When you discovered the law of attraction, you started to believe anything was possible. Life got better, much better. Now you want more, but it's not working. That's where the Manifest It Now show comes in. If you've been waiting for someone who can teach you the practical application to manifest quicker and easier while having more, turn the volume up, because the dynamic duo, Cassie Parks and Ginny Gane, are ready to teach you how to live the law of attraction like they do. It's time to laugh and learn.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Manifest It Now. I am here with Cassie Parks.
And I'm here with Ginny Gane.
And this week we're talking about intention and intention with your money.
Yes.
I was gonna jump in because I gave Cassie a face because I want to say we're here live together and it's very exciting.
It is very exciting.
Yeah.
This is so much fun. If you were wondering, are we having as much fun as we thought this would be? Yes.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
And it was a big part of our intention. I mean, obviously starting Manifest It Now is our intention is to have fun. And so that experience keeps expanding and evolving for us, which is really cool.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What are you excited about, Cass?
I am excited about the evolving spa at my house. It just keeps getting better and better. And of course, the swim spa is amazing, which is, if you don't know what that is, it's like a giant hot tub that you can also swim against the current in. And it's just so much fun. And my kid loves it. And it's just such a great, a family relax time and a way to just have something to do that's present and feels good to all of us. And yeah, it's just awesome.
That's awesome. I love getting that text. I love the hot tub. It was when we got ours last year, whenever we did, I did have that slight thing that says, maybe we'll get it and we won't use it as much as, the first. Mm-hmm. We use it all the time and it feels so good. It is one of those spaces I go for alignment and to kind of just connect. It's
yes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I get that. I remember even the first week, I was like, oh my gosh, I was in twice today. I'm going to go hop in because I love that alignment. I love that
feeling, that experience. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it's so me. And I love that it's right downstairs.
Yeah. That is awesome.
Yeah. What are you excited about?
I'm excited. So you guys know I like numbers and I like 22. So on February 2nd, 2022, opening doors to the Live Your Truth Tribe, and we have a brand new program coming called Awaken Your Truth. And so this is the only time this year that doors are going to be open to these programs. So I'm really excited. And if you're someone that's interested, just head over to my website. You can find information and or send me a DM on Instagram and I'll tell you more about it and happy to connect. So it feels really exciting to be doing something new like this. It's been evolving over the past year specifically with this new program. And so it's exciting to see it in physical form.
Yay. I love that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Cool. Okay. So how can we define intention with money? What do people think having intention with manifesting money means?
This is so funny. I think they just think it means I need to say I want to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
They don't understand intention around money.
Right.
It's really just and I don't even think
the goal, defining the outcome.
I don't even think they define the outcome. I think they get stuck and they don't even actually, we're going to go into definition of intention. Yeah. I think they get stuck in the I want money. They think setting intention, saying I want more money.
Saying what you want. Yes.
Yes, is setting an intention. Right. And it's not.
Yeah.
And if it is, what you're setting an intention for is more wanting. Yeah.
Oh, I feel like that might have just blown up a few people's minds. That's so awesome. Okay, yeah. So let's talk about the ways that we get it wrong or people get this wrong in the way. Because that's one of them. Just focusing on just saying, okay, because I want it, it means the intention's there.
Yes. They get too specific.
Yeah.
And this might sound interesting coming from a person who has a program called Manifest 10K, which is about manifesting $10,000, a specific amount of money.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk more because that's actually a great example. There is a reason why it is Manifest 10K.
Yes.
because so often, people get like, they would either not get specific enough, or they would get too specific. But generally in money, people are too specific with like it's, I want $1 million.
Okay.
Yeah. I want $1 million in the next 7 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, which is actually like giving the universe instructions about how you want it instead of just your intention.
Yes. And so that like getting it wrong is about trying to control those hows.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we don't set intentions about how it's going to come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is tied to money, but also, do you ever set an intention where it's, oh yeah, I'm going to manifest this in the next 7 days?
I don't put time frames on mine usually.
Yeah.
Only because for me that's too specific. It doesn't feel as free or as possible as like just holding. I'm not going to get into that, but like, yeah, just setting the intention and then the purity of it.
Yeah. And so I will like, in $10 to $100 comes in like 3 days.
Yeah.
Or the next week, but it's a little different. It's still, and it's only, at the very beginning we do that.
Yeah.
Just to start, which is really to build awareness.
Yes.
Yeah.
And trust.
Yeah. And trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think another really big way we get this wrong is not letting go. So like we set it every single day.
Yes. Yeah. Or we set it different every single day, right? Like, oh, I want to manifest $100,000. I want to manifest $500,000. I want to manifest $1 million. I want to manifest $10 million.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Like every single day, it's a different number. It's a different thing.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or a different way of saying it, right? It could be like, I want to manifest 100,000. It could be, I want to manifest 10,000 a month. I want to manifest, this.
Right. Saying it in different ways.
Yes.
So same ultimate thing, but like identifying in different ways.
Yeah. Just in case like it wasn't clear.
And I think that's a really good kind of like red flag for people. Like if you feel like you, just in case, I'm going to clarify this for the universe.
Yes.
That's like, no, you don't. You don't need to do that. That's a good sign you're trying to control the how in some way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how would you define what intention is?
So I define it. I looked up this definition a long time ago when I wrote my very first book, which probably most of you don't even have. I think we gave them out at one Manifest It Now event as vintage Cassie Parks. But
we did.
Yeah, the blue book. But when I looked it up, because I think I had been using the word without actually knowing like what's the definition, and you know me, I'm into definitions. So the definition I found and made sense to me was a determination to act. So for me, that is so LOA, and it's so like when we set an intention, we're saying I'm going to behave accordingly, like as if this is coming true.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's so interesting because when I think of a determination to act, part of my mind wants to say like, I will make it happen. Like that's the determination to make it happen. But that's not what we're saying. That's not how you interpreted it, which I think is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
I would define it as like the space you're holding for that experience.
I love that too.
Yeah. So like when you intend something, you are holding space for that experience to be true. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So if you, I might suggest, like if these are new in the definitions of intention, you might want to listen to this more than once, because I think intention is thrown around a lot of times. People use it in LOA, but they don't have a definition. They don't, it's like they equate it to what I want.
Yeah.
And, I think the reason that we are more successful is neither of our or that we are successful using what we teach is that our definitions aren't about wanting. And we're clear on that. Like the importance of having a clear definition is so you understand like all the pieces and how they fit together. It's very hard to trust, which is important with intention. We're going to talk about that. If you don't actually understand how it works together, or you're not clear on what is this part I'm doing? What does it actually mean?
Why am I doing it?
Right. Why am I doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys know, if you've been listening to the past week's episodes, we're going to get you to define this.
Yes.
So keep paying attention. I had this great experience with intention, and it actually started with, so when we moved into our new house, when I saw the window situation, I was like, the first part was, I want new windows, right? But it didn't seem like, it felt like that's going to be a big thing and it's going to be way far off. So I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, now I can set an intention. Now I can say, I can hold the space for having new windows, which, as we've talked about before, meant any time I observed the current windows that I didn't push against them. And I was just like, oh, we're going to have new windows one day. Like, that's what was holding the space. I wasn't trying to make anything happen. And I didn't research anything. I didn't look up. There's a perfect story to this. Do you remember wanting the car
Yes.
played into this?
Yeah.
So I didn't try to figure out the financing right away. And because it actually felt, and we're going to talk about more about what that definition of intention means, but it felt, having new windows for the entire house felt way out of what I could make happen. So there was I couldn't plan my way there. And so it was just setting an intention and setting intention for it would happen in a great deal. And what happened was, without going into all the details, I was guided to look up information. I wanted a new car, and I looked up all the information, and I figured out all the financing, and then I lost interest. And then I'm like, I don't actually want that. And so, but I had all the numbers figured out, and so for the payment for our windows, we knew we could easily handle that if it was that payment. And then when the whole thing unfolded, where we talked to someone who sells windows things and ended up being a friend of Lee's, and then he gave us $20,000 off, that payment number was the same. And so it was I didn't have to plan it directly. The universe just kind of naturally guided me to figure out those money things just by holding the space for it, which setting that intention months and months before.
Yes.
Yeah. So I know there's a lot of parts to that, but it was a really powerful experience of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of parts I want to come back to, too. One of my favorite intentions I ever set with money was the intention to get a 20% raise.
Yeah. That was so clear.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
A 10 to 20% raise. And it was one day, I said it one time, and then, of course, I acted as somebody who... I don't want to use worth that in this case, but that is it, right? Who was getting paid.
Receiving that.
Yeah, who's getting paid that amount of money, that's their job, right?
Yeah.
And again, there was no time frame, because I didn't even it was great because I didn't even have an expectation oh, this will be next week.
Right.
That didn't even play into any factor. It was I would like a 20% raise. I'm setting the intention I get a 20% raise.
Yeah. And so even when you say that, I get, the intention is I receive, not that you wanted, which is, it's interesting because that does come, we always kind of identify what we want first, and then we can shift out of the wanting and go into the intention for it.
Right.
And so how long did it come? When did it come?
I mean, it was 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
It was,
That's cool. And I think in both Cass and I's stories, we highlighted how we set the intention once and we just started acting as if it was happening.
Yes.
And a whole other episode, but not taking score if it wasn't there.
Yes. Yeah. And we're going to talk about that too, because there's trust in intention. We talked about that at the top of the episode, in not setting it different every day, right? I didn't go calculate out what 20% would be when I hadn't got it in a month and be oh, I don't know what it, I think I was making $35,000 at the time. So that's a $7,000 raise. The math is pretty easy because it was a round number, but I didn't go oh, I'd like a $7,000 raise before the end of the year this year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about how setting that intention, sometimes we want to make sure we're not getting into the how?
Yeah. So I think there's a lot out there that teaches us to get super specific when we're setting an intention.
Yeah.
And we've kind of covered how that's not powerful or helpful a lot of times. And here's why. Almost always the more specifics we get, it automatically puts our brain into how mode.
Yeah.
So if we say, I want a blue car with black trim and tinted windows and has turbo and I don't know if that's a thing. That's like a, Bluetooth and a sunroof, right? Automatically our brain is like, we should look up that car, right? It's like we should figure out even if there's blue cars like that for sale. Yeah. And how many and how do we get it? Like our brain, the more specifics, the more it tries to figure it out.
It just goes, the details, it goes to the how. Yeah, they're so connected.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to help, the great guidance on how when you're setting an intention, to make sure or to pay attention to that you're not in a specific, like you're not getting too specific so that it's a how. So you're not pulled to the hows.
Yeah. Simple intentions are best. Like Jenny's was
get a great deal on Windows.
Get a great deal on Windows, right? Get a great deal. It's like less than 7 words, right? I was trying to like give a reference, like, I get a 20% raise is less than 5 words, right? 5 words or less. So 5 to 7. And don't get caught in the detail of that. That is just a way. Like very often when we go over that, we are giving too much direction to the universe. We're trying to control the how. We're getting too specific, right? And
we lose the magic of it.
We do lose the magic. Yeah. Generally with an intention, simpler the better.
Yeah. All right, so we want you to pull out your worksheet or pull out your journal and think of when you've set an intention in your life and that you've had a positive experience with it. And just reflect back, take a little bit of time, write it down, and feel how that feels.
And if you can, or if you're driving, just think about it.
Yep.
If you, if it something comes up with money, that's great.
Yes.
Right? But if it's just an intention in general, that's okay too. But then you might want to open the space and see if you've ever set an intention about money. Because the thing about intentions and when they manifest easy is when we're not we're not trying to control them, revamp them every day, make sure the universe heard us, make sure we're specific, all these things, right? And so sometimes you forget because you did the least work you've ever done when it manifests easily. So be open that like, oh, maybe I have set a money intention. I just don't remember off the top of my head because it wasn't hard.
Because I wasn't thinking about it all the time and trying to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's talk about like how we do this, right? And how we practice this in a general way.
Okay, so some general ways to go about setting your intention. We talked about like 5 to 7 words is just a pretty quick guideline. Simple.
Short, yeah.
To keep it simple and short. You always want it to be focused on what you want.
What you want, yeah.
So we talked about going back to last, my intention, I want to set the intention to be debt free because that's not focused on what you want, right? You want the intention, I want more money.
Yep.
Right?
That's easy. People don't think that's enough.
Right.
And it's enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I receive more money is how we would take that from the want to the thing. But that is enough.
Yes.
That's more than enough. And it's so open that the universe has so many paths to deliver, right?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I really like this idea, applying this concept of if there's kind of like 3 possibilities for what you're wanting to set, the intention. It's like the sweet spot is in the middle. It's like it might be possible space. So it's not in the space of impossible, and it's not in the space of like, oh yeah, that's a given. It's like in that middle space, like that is your sweet spot for intentions of it might be possible.
Which this is why if you set the intention to be a millionaire, I'm going to go back to this, like I'm a millionaire,
right?
Is that if your brain thinks it's totally impossible, it doesn't meet that sweet spot. Whereas I receive $100,000, might feel in that possible realm and is a sweeter spot.
Yeah, and it's not a given.
Right, it's not a given. Yeah. This is why we use in Manifest 10K, we start with 10,000 because it's not a given. Most people can't just, even if you have lots of money, it's not a given that 10,000 is going to flow in at any one point in time when you set the intention, but it's not in that impossible space. And a lot of times once we get, this is something people get in,
caught up in with
intention, is that they're afraid they're not going big enough.
Yeah.
right? But when we get too big, very often, it ends up in the impossible space.
Yeah. And we don't even flow energy to it because we don't even believe it.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So who's getting excited about setting intentions? Because I am.
I know, me.
All right. So this is the time we want you to go write down your new definition of intention so that you know why you're doing this and what's important to you about setting intention. And if you're driving, think about it or come back to it.
And focus on what is the definition, right? Like, what does it mean? Define it for yourself. And then if you want to take some notes on how to do it, but leave the how, like we've said, or part of the definition, I guess, could be a simple ask from the universe or a simple,
Nice. A gift from the universe.
Yeah.
I receive a gift from the universe. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So then we want to give you some more practical ways to practice this. And it's going to be a little different than what we guided you last week.
Yes.
So we actually, because of the way intention works, we don't want you to be we don't want you to take like your dedicated 5 minutes every day. We want you to just set the intention once and then leave it until it manifests. And so we're going to get specific with money. So we want you to intend for you to manifest something for free. Mm-hmm. So something for free.
Anything.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be money. Just anything. I was like, wait a second. How do you manifest? Well, yeah, that could happen. And then you don't want to move to the next thing until you've manifested that. So after you've manifested something for free, then set the intention to manifest something for $20. Mm-hmm. Right? You could manifest $20, like someone giving you that, or something for $20. Mm-hmm. And then after that, go up a little bit more and do $50 and see how that happens.
Yes. And that's just the 3. Like, you're only going to do this for 7 days. So if you only get to the $20 intention and it doesn't manifest, let it go.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's not going to make or break your success in money manifesting. This is all foundation and practice. Start simple, like we said. Yeah. I receive something for free. Yeah. Right. And so I also leave the I'm going to, right? It's I'm receiving something for free. I receive something for free.
Yeah, as in the present moment.
Yeah, in the present. Yeah, I receive something for free. Yeah. I'm going to repeat again, so make sure you hear us. You're not reading this every day. You're not reading your intention every day. You're not saying your intention every day. You're not doing anything with your intention every day. Yeah. You are not doing anything with it until it manifests, and then you're celebrating it. And then you're setting a new intention. What you can do once every day is say this statement, which we're going to give you guys to practice.
Is I know that when I set an intention, the universe delivers.
I know that when I set an intention, the universe delivers. Now, we're not going to say that 100 times a day either.
But it is something that you can come back to. So when you're like, oh, where's my free gift? You just come right back to this. Oh, I know when I set an intention, the universe delivers. And then you can let it go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Anything else, Cass, you want to add before you wrap up?
Ooh, I'm so excited to hear about how your intentions manifest. Yeah. Ooh, and remember that we have fun bonus stories about setting intentions. So I actually manifested
more bonuses.
I manifested a 20% raise and then a second 20% raise. And so in the bonus content in the hub, you'll hear how it looked like it wasn't going to happen because I passed raise time, but it still did happen.
That's so cool.
So that'll be really fun.
Yeah. Awesome.
And you'll also hear about Jenny's first year making 6 figures.
Yeah, that's such a clear example of that.
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll see you guys next week.
Go be awesome! Thank you for joining us on the Manifest It Now show, where you learn how to leverage the law of attraction to manifest your dreams. Now that you're inspired, share the love and review us on iTunes. While you're there, remember to subscribe.